Welcome everyone back to Fundamentals. Hopefully you're doing really well. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. Can't thank you enough. And if you want to become a member of the channel, you can do that. Link is in the description to do that. It really helps the channel out. It helps us go that next level. The support on that has been amazing. And we're here to talk about Carlton's grab win up at the Gabatoir. It was a hard-fought game. The Blues willing out 13-8-86 to 12-13-85. And let's get straight stuck into it. The game overview. It was really the game of two halves, wasn't it? It was a little bit dusty to start with. It wasn't very pretty. It was littered with mistakes. It was littered with nervous energy and real bad pressure at times. It felt like at times we were playing the percentage plays long down the wing. It was a real contain effort. And at times it looked like Carlton were going to get overawed, which they did. Brisbane really capitalised on that really intently, really showcasing a good dominance in the centre, really getting that ball out wide. Them short, sharp kicks from halfback Brisbane were really part of Carlton's press and really at times making it look incredibly easy for them. Then the second half happened and the boys started to adjust. And you saw it about 10 minutes into the second. They upped the ante. They started to close down space. They started to condense play, take the wings out of it defensively. And we saw that corridor defence that Carlton trialled really overzealously versus Geelong. And it started to bear results. And then the third and the fourth, the Blues hit the front. And really after that, once they'd done got rid of the damage, it was anyone's game at that point. The Blues really did try to gain the ascendancy and look to move that ball. And it was a real big poignant effort that they started to hit the corridor a little bit more. But more importantly, when they did go for their long kicks, there was players at the fall of the ball to clean that up. And that was a big case in point from the first half, particularly to the second, where the boys really did sharpen it up. All in all, it was an exciting game. To have another 190 pressure rating where the AFL average is way below that, again for 2 whole quarters, really shows where this side is in a fitness level, but also in a competitive level. And we really did see that the Blues looked to really enact pressure, stop the easy ball, take away the short outlet, and really try to kick long. And once that happened, you really saw the Blues gain ascendancy. That is their core crux. And for me, that is the big thing when I think about this side. The big thing as well was the scores from turnover. We talked in the preview heavily with Black Dog and on teams with Bucky and co about the importance of turnover game in this game. This was going to be the game where the boys really showed you what they were about in the avenue of trying to get that game going because they were going to be under the cosh. That was really nice to see. And again, it was that attack of the corridor. You saw Jack Carroll come on for Sam Doherty. We hope he's all right. But that added another dimension. A proper midfielder in there really did start to show as well. He got his hands on the ball. And shout out Jack Carroll because he probably really started getting the boys going. Another big case in point is Foggy started to do a lot of rotations in the midfield. He was direct, going through the corridor and almost forcing the boys to play through that centre. And the mix-up was there very quickly. And once the Blues do that, and that is something that's really dawning on me in the last couple of weeks, analysing this side in the preseason, I don't think we're going to be a sexy football club. This is what we are. This is our brand. It ain't pretty, but bloody hell, it is effective. And let's talk about what worked. What worked? The pressure. And them 190s, they don't sound like much when you read them as a number on the paper. But when you see it with your eyes, when you've read it on paper, you see what it does. That pressure is hard. That pressure is hard. It means when you've got the ball, someone's running at you. When you've got the ball, someone is in your peripheral vision. When you do kick it, there's someone there. When the ball hits the deck, there's 2 or 3 people there. When you run through, there's 3 or 4 people there. And that is hard to sustain, right? And that is probably a condemnation from the media because they want entertainment. Probably ain't entertaining, right? Because what you're effectively doing is forcing opposition sides to make mistakes. But what you saw there is our skill set. That is our strength. We aren't a glorious kicking side. We aren't a glorious skill side. We are a glorious side, though, at making it incredibly hard, making you play on our terms. And when we make you play on our terms, you're in trouble. You are in big, big, big trouble. And that's what we saw. We also saw what worked was Carlton's ability when they do hit the corridor and that handball game does work, how that overlap works. And you saw that in the first half from Brisbane. The amount of times they exited D50 and it felt like there was 15 versus 7. Carlton did that. They attacked in numbers. The team defense was good, but the team offense started to go. And that is a point really for the rest of the season. They've got to get that game going. It makes it easier to play that type of system. And that is something that I'm really looking forward to as we go on in the season. Another thing that worked, the legend that is Harry Mackay. A lot of these players here have been under the cosh for a lot of their careers. And Harry is the recent Blue who walks into the Blues and he's got to prove himself because everyone's on his case. A phenomenal game and showing how strong he is aerially. He's a beast. He's a monster. He works incredibly hard one-on-one. How hard he works, but more importantly, how hard he works for the team and getting the just desserts. And I love Charlie Curnow's interview at the end. A lot of players will take out in this game. We worked incredibly hard. We did what we're good at. And that was the big case in point here. Carlton won this game because they did what they're better at for longer than Brisbane did what they're better than Carlton at. Areas to improve. Definitely that back half movement. And we saw it quite a bit. They didn't look to take the game on. We saw that quite early. They didn't look to take the game on. They looked for that long ball on the wing. Second half, though, we saw Carlton started to take that ascendancy, started to look for the switch, started to be a little bit more feasible. Working hard off the ball was a big case in point as well. And that is something that we've got to try and get. Now, can we go 190 pressure for 4 quarters? No, we can't. But what we can do is we can look at a way of slowing that game down with the switch kicks and using our skills there. That is something that I want to look at. And also the other area of concern is trying to be at the furnace earlier. Obviously, people say it's not sustainable. We've seen Collingwood do it for 2 years now, and somehow it is sustainable. Being able to pull teams back and being able to win tight ones. I would like to see Carlton. Obviously, we're not always going to play a side of Brisbane's skill level, but we are going to come across sides that are just equally as hungry, particularly the sides in that mid-tier who do put a lot of pressure on. We are going to come up against that. So I do want to see Carlton have that element of control and really look to ascertain that in the games that we see, being able to control the ball and being able to control the tempo of the game. But that game there did show me that when Carlton have momentum, we're going to be tough to beat. And they created their own momentum. Synopsis then, wasn't a flawless performance by any step of the way, and probably wasn't a performance that you'd hope they replicate for the season because it is hard yakka. The big synopsis for me was the boys got it done against all odds. And it was a team effort. And we seem to use that about this side a lot. It's team effort, stronger together. They seem to be the buzzwords. I do want to give a shout out to the fans of the Gabba on the rewatch, but also in the live chat that I witnessed. The energy you feel just in the chat from you guys writing text is fucking insane when the boys get on a run. And when I watched the TV, I heard it, man. I heard it. And that is a shout out to you. You can drag these boys home. And it was no surprise to me that once Charlie kicked his first, sounded like the fucking lid had gone off at the Gabba, and every entry had this like excitement factor with it. It felt like the ball was being drawn to it. So shout out to you guys and girls, because whether you are in the middle of nowhere or whether you are here watching with me or at the Gabba or with your friends and family, that is really good, man. That is really good. And that was really it. And watching the Blues, more of the same. Like, these are the kind of things that make other sides worry. Because when you're 40 points down and if you pull it back the way we do, that's always going to play on the opposition's mind that you are that team that can come back. All in all, great start. We take the 4 points. We now move on to home games versus Richmond back at the G, where we know we're going to pack it out. I can't thank you guys and girls enough for the love and support, and I hope you really enjoy it. You deserve it. Much love. Peace, love, and light. Palm out.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella